And the award for most batshit wild insane thing that I've seen all year goes to... What's up everybody and welcome to my review of the newest horror flick, Barbarian. Now before I say a single other word, let me tell you right now, if you have the ability and the control, go and see this as blind as you possibly can. That's the way that I saw it, and I'm telling you, this is one of those movies that you want to know little to nothing about. The trailer, impressively enough, doesn't show a whole lot. I saw it months ago. But if you can avoid the trailer, posters, plot synopsis, even reviews like this one, pause it, go and see this fucking thing, and then come back and hear the rest of my thoughts.
Fletcher! Holy hell!
Now with all that being said, guys, it has been a phenomenal year for horror in 2022. We still got 2 months jam-packed full of major horror releases. Terrifier, Halloween, Chucky, Hellraiser, and I have all of the hope in the world that at least some of those are gonna match the level of quality of some of the releases we have had thus far this year. But even if today was December 31st, I would tell you wholeheartedly this is one of the best years for horror films that we have had in a very long time. You got movies like X, that is still my number 2 film of the year, only because we also got the Batman this year, so it's not really fair. You have The Black Phone, that I thought was phenomenal, and I just saw Barbarian, which I need to see it again. I'm gonna go see it again, and I need to let the adrenaline come down before I say anything that I can't take back, but this has the potential to take over my number 2 slot from X. As far as the setup of this movie, all you need to know is that you have a woman that goes to an Airbnb, somebody is already there, starts off as a very awkward situation, and come to find out that having an unexpected roommate for the night is the least of their fucking worries. Starting off with the positives for Barbarian, it is a very, very rare thing for me to watch a horror film that I never, at any point in the runtime, can tell where they are going. And every time I feel like I'm figuring it out, they give me the big middle finger and say, nope, you're wrong, we're going over here. And that happened multiple times throughout this movie. And for somebody that watches as many films and analyzes as many films as I do, that is such a magnificent breath of fresh air. The same way that X was such an artistic and stylistic breath of fresh air for a slasher film, this movie is such a breath of fresh air for being so wild and bold and unexpected with all of the different directions that it takes and all of the different things that happen over the course of this film. And every single time there was a new reveal or there was a pacing change or a new character that was brought in that I didn't see coming, I just sat there and went, my God, I don't know where the hell we are going, but I cannot fucking wait to get there. And there's always something that's so effective about horror films that takes something that we really do take for granted how comfortable we feel in these situations. I mean, so many horror movies have ruined things for us. You can't go to fucking Texas. You can't go down dirt roads anymore. Hostel screwed up going abroad. And this film ruins Airbnbs. So there's a situation that so many of us have been in where you go into this strange house that you have no idea what is there and you're just expecting security and expecting safety, and this movie gives you anything but. And when you have a film like that that can take an everyday situation and just spin it in the most sick and twisted way possible, that can give you some of the most effective creep factor. Justin Long is in this movie, and I'm so thankful that we got another horror film with Justin Long. This guy, I love him. I love him to death, and I've been wondering where the hell he has been. For somebody that has made such a career, mostly based in comedy, this guy picks some unbelievable horror films. I mean, you've got Jeepers Creepers, despite the controversy, still one of my favorite horror flicks of all time. You had Drag Me to Hell, which was awesome. And now this, I mean, it's the point where when I see Justin Long in a horror film, that's the automatic seal of approval that this shit's going to get wild. And he is so damn good in the movie. He is so funny, and he is so good at being just an effective actor when it comes to scares and when it comes to showing a character in a scary situation. People in horror films don't get enough credit because you have to act like you are at like peak adrenaline and just peak emotions throughout most of your performance, and Justin Long does it with the best of them. But really just the comedy. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to be a funny movie, and it goes to some sick and fucked up places to where you wouldn't think that comedy would fit into a movie like this, but he brings that Justin Long charm and that Justin Long comedic timing that I had so many laughs throughout the middle of this film whenever his character was getting introduced, and it added just the right amount of levity for a movie that goes to the places that this goes. And that's no shade on the other actors too, because Georgina Campbell and Bill Skarsgård are both great for their roles as well. It was nice seeing Bill Skarsgård back in a horror film as well. All I've really seen him do is Pennywise, and it did take me a minute to get used to it because he's still got those Pennywise eyes and certain mannerisms that he has. It's just kind of synonymous with that character now, but he was really good, and Georgina Campbell's kind of your lead of the film. She's the one that you're kind of seeing this situation through her eyes. She was very good as well. So for the small cast that this has, everybody does a damn good job. They did a damn good job with the lighting in this movie. Eventually you get into situations to where light is very scarce, we'll just say that, and so you'll have flashlights, you'll have cell phone lights, you'll have ambient light from hundreds of feet away that is the only thing lighting up the screen and lighting up the situation that these characters are in. And it's one of those movies that has you on the edge of your seat and has you tense. And when they put you in these dark situations, your eyes are just going to every single inch of the screen trying to find any movement whatsoever, as if you're right there with that character. And there's times where you start to see things, you start to see a little bit of movement, the blacks and the grays and all those colors start to look a little different as something is definitely moving towards you, and you're just like, run, motherfucker, run! Going along with the movie taking you at unexpected places, I think that they did a good job with the character work here to where pretty much everybody involved in the main cast, there's just enough information to let you know something about them, and you come to these preconceived notions. And one character in particular, but really pieces of the other two as well, the movie challenges what you initially think about these characters. You make assumptions, and then the movie just goes completely against what you initially thought, at least for me. And so that's always nice to have characters in a horror movie, especially, to where so often we're just given enough to get to know them, and then they're just in this situation and it becomes a situation movie. You still have some of that character work going on throughout the insanity of the second and third act. And finally, I loved how completely wrong and completely against the grain this movie was paced. And I'm not going to say too much, but there's multiple points throughout the movie to where you just have a complete left turn as far as the tone and the pacing. It's almost like a needle drop, like somebody starts a new record right when you were in the middle of a song. And you're just like, what the fuck happened? Where are we going now? And for a movie to be able to pull that off once is impressive. For a movie to be able to pull that off a couple of times, that's Barbarian. Moving on to the negatives, this is minor, and it might go away when I watch this movie again. But this is something that I bring up pretty often in my reviews. So there's a couple of moments where characters make some really stupid decisions, to the point where I don't believe that that character would do the thing that they did. And so it's momentary, it's necessary to keep the plot moving. You kind of have to cheat when it comes to script writing sometimes. But I just wish that movies like this that are just seem to be going at such a great rate and seem to be written so well and so intricately and are so impressive with doing things that I don't expect, that they could also stay the course in making the characters feel like actual people throughout the entire movie and not having to do that stupid character horror thing in order to get a character from C to D. Overall, guys, if you haven't already been able to tell, I loved this movie. It was such a huge surprise. I did not see this thing coming, and to that point, I didn't see anything, any direction, any little twist and reveal that they had throughout this movie coming, and it's so awesome to be able to have an experience like that sometimes. So if you are a horror fan, if you like your movies batshit wild and sick and twisted and crazy, Barbarian is the movie to see this year. Well, that's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this, please click over here for the rest of my 2022 new release reviews, and I'm also going to put my top 50 horror films up here for you to check out. Please like and share this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my further reviews for the rest of this year. And as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.